All right, good afternoon and welcome to the 199th episode of the Georgia Farm Bureau Georgia Prep Sports Drive for the GHSA State Title. Today I'm going to talk about the upcoming traditional wrestling state championships. I'll be pretty brief with that, but when it comes to the traditional, it's all about how many wrestlers you're sending to state. There's 14 different weight classes. If you're sending 14 wrestlers, you have a really good shot at winning it. And so I'm going to go over who qualified the most this past weekend. I'll look at some of the basketball region tournaments that are getting underway. We did have some action start this past week, and then I'll talk some football news as well. Just want to start off saying congratulations to the Chiefs. Sorry to the Eagles. I did not want to gloat too much, but I had Eagles fans texting me in the first half saying it was going to be a blowout. And so I'm going to take a little victory lap right there and say, go Chiefs. Feels pretty nice to be a Chiefs fan and a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Not sure how many of those there are out there. Been a lifelong Chiefs fan. Obviously went to UGA, so it's pretty crazy. It's been an outstanding football season. But to finish like this, I kind of don't know what to do with myself. It's going to be exciting. I thought that Super Bowl logo, that 57 logo last night, was fire. It had kind of the Arizona canyons in that color scheme. I think I'm going to look very good in one of those hats or hoodies soon. But I thought it was a great game, and congratulations to Harrison Butker. Westminster grad, kicked at Georgia Tech, really had a tough season dealing with injuries, had some issues with the holder perhaps, but that was a big-time kick for him, so he's a two-time Super Bowl champion. I know Ricky's happy about that, and all of the Wildcats and Georgia Tech fans. That was a big kick for him. I was holding my breath, but outstanding. And really, I just thought the way both teams played, we talked about how exceptional the play was at the high school level this season. The sophisticated, creative offenses, the quarterback play, guys like Prentice Nolan, Jeremy Hecklinski, the young quarterbacks that Anaji talks about, DJ Colson, Luke Nickel, A.J. Hill. I think we are seeing outstanding football being played, and really these quarterbacks are taking it to the next level. They understand how to read defenses. I just think it's going to be really exciting what the future holds for this next season coming up. But let's go ahead and jump right into the wrestling. So I have the dual champions right in front of me right now. Hold on one sec. And that's going to help me just with the reclassifications. Okay, so they did it on 2 different days. So let's look at who is going to be bringing the most wrestlers. Starting at the beginning of the alphabet right here. So you have Banks County. They've got 9. They finished, let's see. Hold tight. Okay, Banks County did not finish in the top 4 at the duels, but having 9 wrestlers, that gives them a good chance. Buford, they're going to be in 7A. They finished second to Camden County. They have 13 wrestlers that are going to be competing for state this weekend, and Camden has 14. So huge for the Wildcats to qualify all 14 weight classes. And then Buford right there with 13. And just real quick, you have Conlon Weaver. Yeah, Conlon Weaver, he won state at 145 pounds last year. He's since gone up to 157. He qualified right there, so one of the returning individual state champs right there. And then you also have Kamar Johnson for Camden County, won state last year at the 170 pounds. And then the freshmen that are going to be huge for Camden in those, when we talked to the girls wrestling side, he called it Murderer's Row. With the lightweight classes, that's usually where you have the young freshmen coming in that 113, 120, 126. So that's going to be Brandon Higgins, Hunter Prosen, and Brock Weaver, all freshmen for Camden County, and none of them have lost this season. All have undefeated records. So watch out for Camden. They've been the dominant powerhouse in the state, but I think Buford also, with their 13 qualified wrestlers, that's going to be the biggest potential challenge for them. And sticking with 7A, I just want to see what Mill Creek qualified. They had one of their best finishes ever, placing third. And they're going to have 10 wrestlers. So at a slight disadvantage there to Camden's 14. And then West Versailles, another outstanding team that has a chance to finish in that top 3. And they qualified, where is it? Okay, they only qualified 7, so they finished 4th in the duels, but that's going to be tough for them. But still, they can have a strong showing and have some individual state champions. Last year, Noah Danforth, he was a sophomore. He won the 126 pounds. He's going to be 132 this time around. So let's go to 6A, though. South Effingham, they won the duels. And they have 12 wrestlers. North Forsyth was second. And they're going to send 8. And then I'm going to look at Woodward and Glen Academy real quick. Okay, with Woodward, they're also at 10. And then Glen Academy is at 7. So right off the bat, South Effingham has a big advantage right there. 12 wrestlers qualified. In 5A, no surprise, Jefferson, they have 13 wrestlers qualified, and then the biggest challenger for them will be Cass, a program that's won plenty of state titles. They have 11 wrestlers. So slight advantage there for Jefferson. In 4A, you have Central Carroll coming off their win at the duels. They have 9. So 4A looks to be more wide open, and I'll see what Lovett and North Oconee are going to be bringing. Lovett has 10, so Central Carroll 9, Lovett 10. Chastity has 9 as well. And then North Oconee, they finished 4th at the duels. And they are going to have just 6. So Central Carroll, Lovett, and Chastity, they are going to have the bulk of the weight classes represented. 3A is going to be interesting as well. Columbus kind of had an upset, shocking win over Gilmer, a traditional powerhouse, at the duels. Let's see what they did. And then they only have 7. So that'll be hard to sweep the titles for them, with Gilmer also having 7. And then I think Ringgold was the team that had a lot. Let's see. Ringgold has 9. So Columbus only 7, Ringgold 9. That will be wide open. And then let's look at Rockmart real quick. They won 2A. They have 13 wrestlers going. That's huge for them. And then the last one I'm going to check is Mount Pisgah. They have 11. They won Class A. So I think it's going to be Camden County, clear advantage, all 14 weight classes. Mentioned the undefeated records for all their freshmen that made it to state. Buford has a chance with 13. They have won in the past as well, but no one has been able to top Camden. And then the biggest challenger to Mount Pisgah will be Tryon. They've also got 11 wrestlers. And then let's look at Social Circle. Social Circle has 13. So that will be big in Class A. And one more I want to look at, that's Oglethorpe County. Oglethorpe County has 10. So Class A will be interesting. But all these results are going to be updated this week. We'll have the preview for the Wrestling State Championships. I'll look more into the reigning individual champs, who's moving around weight classes. Sometimes that's natural, sometimes it's out of strategy, where if you have a guy that is dominating that weight class as a sophomore, but you have a guy that can fill in those 106, 113, you're going to move him up, tell him to gain that weight, and then basically use that to create that depth. Camden County is exceptional at doing that, and once again, they look poised to repeat as the 7A champs. So great stuff right there. And we'll also have, of course, the girls wrestling for the individual state titles. Carrollton, they won the duels. Those are the first ever dual state titles handed out. We'll see what the Trojans do this weekend. So that will be exciting. On the basketball front, I want to start with this result from this past Friday, and I was kind of surprised by it, but that was Newton and Grayson. Newton, I thought, was going to get a big boost with the return of Ja'Kai Newton. We saw him come back recently, played really well against Wheeler, played well against Archer, and so you thought, okay, he's going to give Newton even more star power, and then Grayson beat him 63-56. So I think Grayson's just showing how deep 7A really is. And if you look at that region, it's been unbelievable, with even Parkview having upsets. You have an Archer team in there. They've had big games. And then South Gwinnett currently in that third spot. I think that's going to be one of the most exciting region tournaments to watch. Brookwood has kind of struggled to compete with those five, but you have Grayson, Newton, South Gwinnett, Archer, and Parkview. One of those is not going to make it to the playoffs, and I think they've all proven to be really dangerous teams, but we'll see who comes out of that one. But I thought, yeah, Ja'Kai Newton's return, it's a big storyline. Can Newton build with him? He's a huge talent. And I think that Grayson win is just really impressive. Going to look into that a little more later on. One sec, I'm pulling up the boys region tournaments. There's a lot of games tonight. Wasn't too much this past week. Couple on Friday, couple on Saturday. Mostly just in the bigger regions, Region 8 and 4A. But we're going to have some of the first games tipping off in 7A, and you can think of these almost as the play-in games. A lot of the number 1 and number 2 seeds are automatically advanced, and they wait to play the winner of these number 5 versus 4s or 6 versus 3s. And so in Region 1, you have Richmond Hill and Colquitt. This is on the boys' side. The winner will play Valdosta. Campbell versus East Coweta, that's a big one in Region 2. The loser will not make the playoffs. The winner will take on number 1 seed Westlake on Wednesday. Pebblebrook and Carrollton, I think that will be a good match on Wednesday. Carrollton's a really solid team. They're scrappy, have some good shooters, and then Pebblebrook is a really talented team, has a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs for sure. Another play-in game is going to be Region 3 on Tuesday. North Paulding and Marietta, the loser will miss out on the playoffs. Then Tuesday, that's when Region 4 that I was talking about tips off. South Gwinnett at Brookwood. Expect the Comets to win that one. And the winner of South Gwinnett Brookwood's going to have to play Newton. And then the winner of Archer and Parkview is going to play Grayson. But that Archer-Parkview game is a must-win to earn a playoff spot. And then they'll take on Grayson. So that also shows Grayson did, in fact, earn the number 1 seed in the regular season out of Region 4. I think that says a lot. Newton is outstanding. I think both of them are battle-tested, and the top 2 seeds out of that region will obviously be on opposite sides of the bracket. And we'll be playing Region 3 in the first round, a potential matchup with that'll be North Paulding, Harrison, and then the 3 and 4 seed will have to potentially play McEachern, who also is looking really good. Region 5, Walton earned the number 3 seed. They're going to have to beat Kennesaw Mountain to earn a playoff spot. Kennesaw Mountain's the number 6 seed. Then a really good one, North Cobb against Osborne. I thought Osborne has had a solid season, but as of late, they've lost a couple games. They lost to Walton recently. That earned them the 5 seed, but that's a must-win for both of them, North Cobb and Osborne. And the winner of that will have to take on Wheeler, and then the winner of Walton-Kennesaw Mountain will take on Cherokee, who's been a top 10 team this year. They've been in and out of it, but Walton has had a recent victory over the Warriors. Down in Region 6, I think the interesting storyline is Milton. They played on Saturday. They earned a 65-28 win over Forsyth Central. That guaranteed them a playoff spot. They'll play Denmark tomorrow night, and then Lambert and West Forsyth. So that's the semifinals in Region 6. Region 7 also got started. Norcross and Peachtree Ridge both had the byes, the number 1 and number 2. But North Gwinnett, they beat Duluth on Saturday. North Gwinnett's going to play Peachtree Ridge. And then Berkmar beat Meadow Creek. And so we're going to have Norcross against Berkmar semifinals. That game is tonight at 8 o'clock. That will be interesting. I think Peachtree Ridge has been an impressive team as well. I think they actually have a win over Norcross this year. Norcross has had some big victories as well. But I think potential state region championship between Peachtree Ridge and Norcross, that would be on Wednesday. And then finally, Region 8 and 7A, we're going to have tonight Collins Hill against Buford. That's a 2 versus 3. And then Mill Creek against Mountain View. Mountain View beat Central Gwinnett 63-61 on Friday to secure a playoff spot. So Central Gwinnett is out. Want to talk about Groves real quick in 6A. I think they are one of the most intriguing storylines for sure. They, of course, were the team that upset Buford in the quarterfinals last year, and they got off to a brutal start this season. They are, hold on one sec. Oh, sorry, not Groves, Grovetown. What am I thinking? So their start to the season, they're 16-8 overall. At one point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They lost 6 straight games. That dropped them to 2-6. That was to McEachern, Buford, Newton, Wheeler, 10-point loss, 2-point loss to Tri-Cities. They lost to an Alabama school. Since then, they've won 12 straight, all close, all great games, and that's a dangerous team at this point. To have the struggles early in the season, they return everyone from their state championship run last year, overcome that, and then they're winning close games. They're winning overtime games, and they have a lot of momentum heading into the region tournament. They picked up on Saturday a 58-51 win over Glenn Academy, and that is going to set up. Okay, so that sent Glenn to the 6th seed. Those teams will play on Tuesday, and then Grovetown will wait the Effingham County Evans winner on Thursday. We'll see if Grovetown earns that top seed. But watch out for them. They've been red hot lately, 12-game win streak after that sluggish start. I want to look at, I think Region 5, that's setting up to be interesting. Alexander, they're ranked number 1 right now. They've had a great year. They're the top seed. They're going to have a potential Region 5 championship game, though, against Hughes, who I think is going to be really dangerous. Another team that's played a really tough schedule, and then they just have some really exceptional athletes on that team. And Hughes is a basketball program that has won a state title very recently. Down in 5A, let's see if there's any big games tonight. Lithonia at MOK, that will be a must-win for Lithonia, a 3 seed. They've been in and out of the top 10, but I think they'll rise to the occasion in that one. Let's just put it that way. A tough season, but season's on the line tonight. I think they will get in. Then they would have to play number 2 seed Decatur on Wednesday. Region 5, Mays earned the top seed in the regular season, and they're going to wait to play the winner of Maynard Jackson and Creekside. Maynard Jackson has made a strong push in the second half. They've earned a spot in the top 10, and then that region also has Tri-Cities and Chapel Hill. They'll likely play this Friday in the other semifinals match, but right there, Mays, Tri-Cities, Chapel Hill, Maynard Jackson, and Creekside, 5 great programs, only 4 spots. Region 5 in 5A will be one of the better ones. Kell, they're waiting to play the winner of GAC and North Springs. That'll be tomorrow night. And then Chattahoochee's the number 2 seed. They're waiting to play the winner of Centennial and Cambridge. Hiram, they're the top seed in Region 7. And then in Region 8, Heritage Conyers is the number 1 seed. We're going to look at 4A real quick on the boys' side with McDonough and Pace Academy, 2 teams that have met already this season and split. They're at the top of the poll, McDonough at number 1, Pace at number 2. And they would potentially play this Thursday. They both have earned buys into the semifinals. They'll await the winners of Lovett and Hampton. That winner is going to play McDonough. And then Pace, the winner of Woodland and Luella. I think with those teams, both of them have not necessarily dominated, but outplayed the rest of the region. They've had big wins over Lovett, the number 3 seed. I think we're going to see a third matchup between McDonough and Pace Academy on Thursday. And if that's the case, I want to hear Najee's breakdown of that for sure, because he was covering that matchup. He went and saw them in person when McDonough got the 79-70 win over Pace, and then Pace got the win this last time. So I think that rubber match will be interesting. I think McDonough, though, that loss to Pace the second time around might have been exactly what they needed. They hadn't lost within Class 4A all season up to that point. I think sometimes a loss in the regular season that's not going to necessarily hurt them. It gave them the number 2 seed, but they're still going to have to play pace. They still have an opportunity to win the region and get that top seed. I think that's going to be an outstanding matchup to watch for. So let's look at the girls real quick. I'm interested what Brookwood's going to do in 7A because they've been dominant. I don't think they've ever won a state title before, but that's Deanna Collins leading them. Let's see what games are tonight. Okay, Camden, Richmond in Region 1. Westlake, East Coweta, Region 2, that's tonight. And then let's see, Region 8. Now, where is that? Okay, Brookwood, Region 4. Top seed. Matchup with the winner of South Gwinnett and Parkview. And then Archer's the number 2 seed. I think we're going to see Archer and Brookwood square off in that Region 4. Let's see what happened when they played previously. So yeah, Brookwood, 17 straight wins, 24-1, perfect region record, 10-0. And the last time they played Archer, gosh, they won 70-49. And then the most recent one was last Tuesday, 65-53. And in Brookwood's game, their season finale on Friday, they beat Parkview 69-14. So we're seeing just true dominance. Archer's 10 or 12-point loss was the closest region loss they've had. So I think Brookwood is a clear front runner on the girls' side. But I'm going to look at some more of these regions. We'll get back to it on the other side. But first, let's thank our sponsor, Georgia Farm Bureau.
This remains the same today. We've grown to protect all Georgians through home, auto, and life insurance. From the very beginning and into the future, we stand for every Georgia community.
We are our Farm Bureau.
All right, welcome back. So another one, Region 8. Buford's the number 1 seed. They will play Mill Creek tonight. That's a semifinal match. And then the winner of Buford and Mill Creek is going to play the winner of Central Gwinnett and Collins Hill in the championship this Wednesday. So Region 8 will be one of the first to wrap up. Buford and Central Gwinnett had the bye this past week, and then Mill Creek beat Decula 48-43 to earn a playoff berth, and then Collins Hill beat Mountain View 70-34. In Class 6A, that's the one that is really going to be interesting on the girls' side with Region 3. There is a logjam with Lovejoy, Forest Park, Woodward Academy, and Rockdale County. And those 4 have already guaranteed their playoff berths and will represent in the semifinals. That will be tomorrow. It's going to be number 2 seed Forest Park and Woodward Academy, and then number 1 seed Lovejoy against Rockdale County. I think all those games will be interesting. And then the winners will compete for the region title this Thursday. So Region 3 and 6A on the girls' side will be center stage tomorrow night as those 4 teams, all in the top 10, square off for a chance to get to the region championship game. The Marist girls, team that hasn't been in the rankings this season, they're having to compete with this stacked 6A, but they have come on strong. They got the number 1 seed. They will play this Thursday the winner of Lakeside DeKalb and North Atlanta, which is tomorrow night. And then the Hughes girls are also the number 1 seed. They're going to play the winner of Paulding County and Alexander. And then, let's see, in 5A, let's see when Kell plays next. Okay, so Region 6 gets started tonight. Kell has the bye, though. They'll play the winner of Centennial and Chattahoochee on Thursday. Kell's beaten all of them already. Number one team in 5A on the girls' side. Crystal Henderson, she's having a special year. They've been so close every season, losing to the eventual state champions by a point or two. So it's now or never for Kell this year. As I said, they'll play on Thursday, the winner of Centennial Chattahoochee, and then Cambridge. They're going to have to beat Northview to get in the playoffs tonight, and then they'll play the winner of GAC and North Springs. So Region 6, that will get underway tonight. I want to look at Class A on the boys' side real quick. And these will all be updated. You can go to scoreatl.com, the AJC, we have them there by class. We'll update those live as the results come in. Some of these games actually start at like 3 p.m., 5 p.m., but the boys, for the most part, will be at 7:30 or 8. Okay. And yeah, that's one of the interesting things. I mean, we saw it during football, the creation of this Class A Division I and Division II. I think it's opening up opportunities. With the Class A Division I, though, there's been some clear front runners with, I believe that's Region 6. That has Mount Bethel in it, Mount Vernon, Mount Pisgah, St. Francis, Paideia. I think that's probably the deepest one right there. And even Whitfield Academy, the number 10 seed, they beat Galloway on Saturday, keep their playoff berth alive. This is one of the largest regions, has 10 teams in it. And then Whitfield Academy, though, they'll have to play number 2 seed Mount Bethel tomorrow night for a chance of the playoffs. And then Paideia, the number 6 seed at Mount Pisgah. I think that will be a great one. Both those programs are in the top 10. A must-win game right there. And then we'll have the semifinals on Thursday, state championships on Saturday. So that's Region 6, Class A Division I. I think that is one to watch for. One of those teams isn't going to make the playoffs, Paideia and Mount Pisgah. So that will be interesting for sure. Real quick, let's go over this past weekend's dance state championships and the results right there. Seth Ellerby covered that. And Stars Mill, they won the Class 3A, 4A, and they became the second program in state history to win 4 straight. So they've been dominating the sport. And yeah, Stars Mill went down into 4A. They were in 5A, and they kept their streak alive. Then 7A, that went to Peachtree Ridge. McIntosh, they won the 5A, 6A. And then Stillwell Arts won the Class A to 2A. And Stillwell Arts, that is now their 3rd state title in the last 4 years. And then McIntosh, that was their first ever, and Peachtree Ridge, that was their first ever. So that's exciting. I think that sport's been a great addition to it. You have the different forms that your team competes in. It's a jazz, hip-hop, and then high kick. So you have all those routines. They kind of average out the overall score, and then crown who won each individual event with the high score, but then whoever had the best all around gets the title. And once again, Stars Mill and Stillwell Arts are the repeat champs, and then the first time is Peachtree Ridge. So you can go to scoreatl.com for that right there. See, was there any football news this past week? I think we got all the coaching updates. Yeah, Whitfield Academy, I think that was the last one. So I think we still have about, I think my last count was like 22 vacancies. North Springs is still open. We will have their AD on this week. He was going to come on today. He's a little busy. And then what I want to talk to him about is just the coaching search. Coach Jeff Phillips did a great job there. And then I want to see how many coaches are in this interview process. It's getting kind of late. So is he trying to go within the program, promote someone, or go elsewhere? North Springs has made tremendous strides as a football program. When I started here in 2011, 2012, they're actually the closest school to our office, but we couldn't get any score updates or any coverage because they weren't winning any games, and they frankly said, it's okay, you don't need to cover us. So they've gone from that to a team that is competing in a region with Kell, Cambridge, Centennial, Chattahoochee, and having a lot of success. So I know they're going to want to get a candidate to get things going. Coach Phillips was a young coach, high-energy guy, so that's a kind of big loss for him, but also a good opportunity for Coach Phillips in his next venture. But that will be a big storyline to see who North Springs is going to turn to. But I do want to wrap this one up because we're going to have a lot of work to do with this Wrestling State Championship guide. But tune in tomorrow. It's going to be overrated and underlooked. Me and Najee, we're going to break down the Super Bowl. We're going to talk some college football news, talk some basketball for sure, and then some other high school recruiting updates. There's some exciting college basketball this past weekend. Gosh, I saw there was a shot Portland State had with 0.4 seconds left. They threw it full court, and the guy basically caught it midair and just tipped it in. And it's so funny. That's one of the things I was complaining about. If there is time on the clock, you got to throw up a prayer. You got to throw up a shot. I don't care if it's the end of the third quarter. You don't inbounds the ball and just dribble it out. And so to see someone prove that you can make a shot with 0.4 seconds left, it would have been great. But then to do it in a game winner, full court, I thought that was fantastic. Not something you see every day. Another big victory was Mizzou over Tennessee. Great buzzer beater right there. So certainly the basketball action is ramping up, not just in high school, college as well. I think it's the NBA All-Star break also. So we'll be talking about all that tomorrow. Starts at noon. Be sure to tune in. I won't give you guys too much of a hard time as I celebrate the Chiefs winning. But I did promise I'd bring some Kiwis in to celebrate with Graham. Don't ask why. But we'll be back then. Thank you so much. We'll have plenty of coverage. And go Chiefs.